The highly anticipated Fire Emblem Three Houses Seasons of Warfare Edition has finally come. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. This limited edition set was very hard to get my hands on. It was quite limited in my hometown, but more on that later. This sells for $99 US, or $100 essentially. In Canada, I think it was $130. It includes the game, a Steelbook, the Artbook, Sound Selection CD, 2020 calendar, because we all need to use a calendar. Not really, but hopefully it looks cool. So this is a monstrous set. The box is roughly 12 inches by almost 9 inches, probably about 8.75 inches, so like 31 centimeters tall. It's huge. I'm going to open this from the bottom. There is a sticker seal on the top and on the bottom. Just going to nick that open. I don't open them from the top because usually the top has the name of the game on it, and I want to display that. This is compatible, I guess, with some online play, but you do need that Switch account if you want to play it online. And additionally, I said this was really hard to find. In my hometown, there are several game stores that had pre-orders. They had lots of pre-orders. Some stores got no copies in, some only had enough to satisfy the pre-orders, and a few other stores just didn't meet the requirements of what they wanted to get. This is a huge collector's edition. So here's the soundtrack CD. We have the calendar, I believe. That's going to be the calendar. Then we have the Steelbook with the game. Going to move that tray to the side. And we also have the Artbook. All of it has basically the same art on it right here, or the same symbols. Now in this game, you play as one of three, or essentially you choose one of the three houses. That's why it's called Three Houses. So you have the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, or the Golden Deer. And this looks spectacular, this artwork. I wish this came with the actual release of the case, that I could just display it with all the red siding on it, so I could actually just have it in the rest of my collection and everything looks like it's the exact same. On the side of this, insanely difficult to see in the video, but I'll try and move it on the screen. It does say Fire Emblem Three Houses on it there on the side. Kind of looks like purple or violet there. Wonderful art on this. Let's open this up. The game is in here. Of course, still no manual, Nintendo, and the game cartridge, very tiny as always. Let me just make sure we can get a shot of that. So not much to it, just purple, Fire Emblem Three Houses. But the case, the Steelbook, does look spectacular. I'm going to eventually pick up a regular case so I can just display this with the rest of my collection. A lot of them do that with the Steelbook edition. Same with Smash Brothers. Not a huge fan of why they did that. And I think next up, let's get to the soundtrack CD. Just says that quite simply. We're going to open this up. On the side of this, it does have its name, and I just want to be a little bit careful about doing this with the X-Acto knife. Paying this much money for a special edition, it seems outrageous now. $99 or $100 US. It does come with a bunch of stuff. It's just, all these special editions, considering they're so huge, what is the biggest special edition in your collection? Because I have a few, but I stay away from a lot of the bigger special editions just because I don't even know how to display them, other than the Master Edition of Breath of the Wild, I think. And there's a Steel Battalion special edition for the PlayStation or the Xbox that was absolutely monstrous. So here you have the CD. I think that's upside down. I'm just going to rotate this around a little bit. Looks almost like, well, it looks gold mostly. You have all these different symbols around it as well, and it says Fire Emblem Three Houses Sound Selection on this. What sound selections do we get? It looks like we have all of these. Let me just move in a little bit more so that you can read if you do want to. So it looks like there's 33 titles on this. Not sure how long the CD is exactly, but I'll have to look into that at some point. Maybe actually put this in my car and listen to it on the way to work or something like that. Next up, let's look at the calendar. Also comes in this black packaging. It does say Nintendo on the back. And let's just slide this out and take a look at the 2020 calendar. There shouldn't be too many pages in here. Beautiful artwork. Different characters from the game. Continuing that major theme of purple, of course. Looks pretty good. Great Tree Moon. That's what it says right there. It does have their birthdays, the characters' birthdays and everything, so this would actually be useful to use with the game if you're looking to try and develop those character relationships. 6 with that art. Now this game is a tactical game, basically. You have to balance a lot of different pieces. You do have control of battalions that you can call into battle in this game. So I'm looking forward to playing this. I think my one friend, Reese, he's probably looking more forward to playing this even than me. But I wonder how many hours this game is. And if you've played it already, let me know your thoughts on the game and how it's going and everything. And this is 12. Wow, great art with that one. So this one, you can stand it up. You can display it, I guess, if you want, and you can also use it while you're playing through the game. So that looks pretty cool, pretty neat. Just going to leave that over to the side. And lastly, we have this beautiful art piece, or book. The art book is unpackaged. We have the same design on this that's on the cover of the Steelbook that you can see right there. And then the back of this is the same as the back of the Steelbook. So just the continuity there with the different art. Oh, however, it's a little bit darker, it looks like, on the Steelbook. Let me just move that to the side. So let's go through this art book to get a really good idea of what's inside here. The art of Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you have a spectacular page right there. This one, it almost looks like this is a little bit see-through, actually. Let me just look how this is going. Yeah, this first page is almost, yeah, it's basically a little bit see-through, which looks pretty neat. And then we have, it looks like, yeah, we have, I can't pronounce these characters' names probably correctly. You can always correct me. Byleth Male. He's a male, I guess, or that's maybe his name. And then here we have Byleth Female, so there's two of them. And over here we have Sothis, green hair, holding a ribbon. Some of the different characters. Edelgard, Edelgard. Beautiful though, nevertheless. A lot of this is in Japanese, which I cannot read. Hubert. Ferdinand. Imagine working on these games if you're an artist and drawing all the characters and coming up with different things. Linhart. Hards? DT at the end. Looks like Gaspar. So this is actually cool. I'm learning some of the names. Really unique hair. I can't tell if the hair is actually brown and blue or transitions. Bernadetta and Petra. Dorothy, I think it says, yeah. So 3 characters on that page. Oh, this is one I'm going to butcher. This is hilarious. Fergus or something like that. Dimitri. So these are some of the different houses. Like I said, there are 3 houses. More with some Japanese font in it. I'm surprised they didn't translate it into English, to be honest. Here's a unique name. Dedu. I think it says Dedu. And then Felix. So again, those 3 houses. Black Eagles, Blue Lions, Golden Deer. Who do you choose? I think that's Ash. And then Sylvain. Looks like it says Sylvain. Mercedes, top left, or on the left. Then in the middle here we have Annette. And then we have Ingrid. Next up we have Lester. I think it's Lester. Leicester or Leicester. I'm trying to think of Leicester City from soccer. We have Claude. That was page 29, if you're wondering. So already on page 30. Something I cannot read. Probably just more character designs for that. Lorenz. Probably my favorite so far. This one looks funny to me. Raphael. He just looks monstrous. Almost like a Caesar cut. He looks jacked. Lots of characters. Ignatz. And how do you pronounce this one? Lysithia? I think Lysithia. Marianne. Hilda. And Leonie. Something like that. And this says it's the Church of Ceros. Then we have Rhea. Almost reminds me of Palutena, actually, Rhea. A little bit. From Kid Icarus. It's probably just because of the green hair. Sateeth. I think it's Sateeth. And then Flame. The character's design. Hanneman? I think it says Hanneman. Manuela. Looks like a little bit of older characters. And then the Knights of Syros. Geralt. He looks like a knight. He looks like weathered. Like he's been battling for a long time. Alos. Or Alois. I don't... Oh, I do see Catherine on this side. I like her... I really like her armor. Her sword is pretty wicked, although I'm not sure how well that would be in battle. I guess it would like always catch someone else's sword. Shamer. Cyril. Cyril looks simple. A simple life. And lastly, we have Gilbert. And then you're on to enemies. Again, it's like the see-through paper, which I really appreciate. That looks pretty neat. So, enemies. First up, you got Costas. And then we have Miclan. Cornelia. Wicked outfit on her. Flame Emperor. That looks like a really cool villain. There's a few more of them. Very cool enemy, anyways. This one looks a little crazy. She looks a little crazy. Cronia. She almost looks like the Joker, or Harley Quinn-esque. And this is Tails. Tails looks like one of the big... He looks pretty cool. Oh, this is an older guy. Solon? Solon. S-O-L-O-N. Look at his eye. I feel like, just like Disney, they always make the villains a little bit odd looking so that they are not normal. Death Knight. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Good name for that. I'm trying to find any English word on here, but it has the scale of how large these are. You see a human standing there, and then the enemies of these. That's a huge looking wolf. Cool looking dinosaur-like creatures. Just monstrous. This one, I'm not sure if I like its face. It has like a humanoid face. Not very realistic when they do that. I prefer when they actually look... Oh, this one almost looks like it's from Legend of Zelda on the left here. Name that enemy that you fight in Skyward Sword that has 8 arms, or 8 limbs anyways. That one looks pretty cool. Dragons are so popular right now with Game of Thrones. This is a very thorough book. Very unique characters here, but I don't even know how to call them. Another dragon-like character. Although this one's more bird-like and huge compared to that human. And then you have classes. So all these different classes, I guess. With like a really quick shot of all the character designs for those classes. This is page 77. So they did not chintz out on the book. It's highly detailed, it's in color, it looks beautiful, some of the pages are see-through. It looks like it's going to be over 100 pages, more of the classes. And I do want to give it a good shot of every single class. And there you go. Next up, weapons. Weapons and other. This is probably the best art book that I've ever received in a collector's edition, actually. I can't think of any ones that are better. So some swords, some spears and other weapons. I wonder who uses all of these, or if any character can eventually not find them, but I guess like get them or train with them. You're a professor kind of commanding your army in one of the 3 houses that you choose, so... Gauntlets, shears, different gloves that you wear that are pretty miserable looking in terms of, they look pretty deadly. Some cool armor. This is a cool character design. Kind of reminds me of Demise from The Legend of Zelda as well. A little bit. And then some rings or jewels, some books with other symbols. And some symbols or flags, I guess, that they'll fly. And then environments. This is what I was looking most forward to, because the art of these should be the best, in my opinion. It's just different environments throughout the game. A little bit dark. Hard to see a few of these. This is probably a little bit difficult to see some of these. World building. Inception, create your own worlds entirely. Even say how tall some of them are. Just very dark. Hard to see what's going on, but at least it's like concepts. And this is page 108. So it's well over 100 pages. Small room with all the concepts in the room. Again, I wish I could read Japanese. Some other concepts here. That looks really neat with the coloring and everything. Almost looks like it should be out of John Wick. If you've ever seen that movie. Here's just more art. Pretty committed now to going through every single page, but we're almost there. This is a beautiful shot. Secret of Mana, giant tree, but not actually. Huge cathedral-like building. Many different locations here. Got 4 more. Fire in the throne room. That almost is like straight out of Game of Thrones as well, although Game of Thrones was influenced by other things itself. And I think one of the last images in this book is here. You have that symbol. And I think finally the last page is just Nintendo in gold with the year and trademark. And that concludes the book. So this is a very detailed art book. If you're a fan of Fire Emblem, I think you should definitely get your hands on this if you can. The calendar at first, I was wondering who needs a 2020 calendar, but I guess it has everyone's birthdays in here already that you can use to your advantage while you play the game. So I guess this can definitely be useful throughout the game. The soundtrack CD I'm going to have a listen to in my car and see what it's all about and how it ends up. And lastly, the beautiful Steelbook that I wish we had the original case released with this as well, so I could put this with all the other games that I own, which looks spectacular. It's a great Steelbook, and this collection is very well put together. At $99, I'm wondering what you guys think. Do you think this is worth it? Do you think it was a little bit overpriced? What are your thoughts on Fire Emblem Three Houses if you have played the game already in the past? The art book takes my breath away. It's really huge. So many pages. How many pages exactly? I don't even think I got to that. So just the last thing. This had in total, I guess that page isn't numbered, 118, 19, 20, 21, 122 pages roughly of art for Fire Emblem The Three Houses. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket. If you haven't checked out my unboxing of a previous Fire Emblem Special Edition, this is the Shadows of Valentia. This is the limited edition that I also have up here on YouTube, so you can check out that unboxing. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Feel free to fill that like bucket. Follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video. And remember, as always, go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming.